Alright, y'all, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Asian women are probably the biggest threat to Western women overall. And if you want me to be more specific, y'all, I believe that Asian women are likely to be the biggest threat to black women when it comes to taking away men from their community. Now, I know a lot of people will say Latinas, man, and I do believe that there is a great talking point when it comes to, Latina women, But when it comes to the dealings of their fiery, feisty attitudes, to an extent, don't take this the wrong way, I kind of feel like that could mirror somewhat of women in the West attitude-wise, and that could completely negate damn near anything that you could say as a talking point for Latina women. Don't get me twisted. I love me some Latinas, okay? Don't ever get it twisted. But I do believe that Asian women overall are the biggest threat to black women when it comes to taking away men from their community. Now, when I say this, I want you to understand it from this perspective. Asian women have a tendency to be adaptable and docile, and I'm not going to even say submissive because I want to eliminate that out of the conversation, but docile to the point where I feel like they are more or less catering to their men than probably any other race of women that I've ever met in my entire life. Latinas, like I said, they do it as well. I just believe that, somewhat of the attitude could potentially negate all of the positive that could come with dating a Latina, right? But with Asian women, I do feel as though they do have a catering mentality to their men. You see it in videos. There are a bunch of guys that'll sit there and tell you, bruh, look at what my wife doing for me right now. She making me breakfast, right? I've seen it personally. My stepmom gives my dad manicures and pedicures and shit. It's the craziest thing. But again, I do believe that if a woman assumes her position and role in the relationship like that, I do believe that, what I should say is I do believe Asian women are more likely and more willing and more accepting of their roles in a relationship like that than you would probably find in women from other cultures, right? I understand my young black women. Love y'all. I do. Don't ever get it twisted. Don't ever think for a second that because I'm saying this that I don't like black women. Right? I've tried, y'all. I've tried. I really have. I really, really, really have. And until this day, y'all will always be near and dear to my heart. But I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that Asian women are posing a fucking threat that you need to take into consideration. And the reason you need to take it into consideration is because I understand that many of y'all are raised to be independent women, and as a result of this independency, maybe you grew up in a community, because I know it because I see it all the time, you grow up in fatherless communities where mom is mother and father, and as a result they're raising you to not have to depend on a man, to not have to do anything for a man or need a man for anything. They're raising you that way, so your mentality is I don't need a dude, right? And because of that mentality, for the majority of the young ladies that represent my community, I can honestly say that's going to turn off a lot of guys, right? And you have a lot of women that say, accept me as I am. And I get it and I understand it. But at this point and at this stage, love, if there's no adjustments or no need to adjust or a feel for a need to adjust, ladies, it's going to turn guys off from you and want to date somebody else. Now, a lot of y'all will be like, fuck them. We don't need them, blah, 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 blah. And then as a result, that's when you guys come back to us, talk about that's why y'all ain't shit. That's why y'all ain't gonna never be shit, because y'all ain't willing to accept me as I am. So fuck you. You're not strong enough. All of that shit. Or you may deal with a gentleman. Sorry, fuck that. You may deal with a Pookie or a Ray Ray that could potentially do wrong by you because of the way that they was raised, mentality wise and all of that shit, and have multiple baby mamas and all that shit. So as a result, you dealing with this small concoction of gentlemen fucking up your whole psyche, putting you in the mindset that all men ain't shit just because you're dealing with one dude or a couple dudes that have multiple baby mamas in and out of prison and shit like that. So I understand that the need to be independent and the need to be raised with a strong-willed and strong mindset may be a great defensive mechanism for you, love. But the problem is, I do believe that if you're always on the offensive or the defensive, or, if something doesn't go right or go your way, all of a sudden, finding a way to make it look like it's our fault, the attitude alone is not going to help you in, keeping a lot of us in the community. It's just the truth. Now, I'm not sitting there saying just specifically for me, because maybe I'm not your type. It's okay. I've learned to accept that a long time ago. If I'm not your type, I ain't your type, right? Now, I am the type to some, Sometimes I'm not the type to know. Because, again, the way that I was raised, you know, the way that I came up, the way that I was taught is a little bit different than everybody else, right? I wasn't out there in the streets. Hell, I wasn't even allowed to be out there in the streets when I was a kid, man. You got a mother and a father who can whoop your ass. That's just not gonna work. So I was raised differently, and I was taught that grades and shit were important, so I was the nerd type, and I'm willing to accept who I am as an individual. And like I said, if you can't accept that I'm a forward-thinking individual that has motivations and passions and things in life, and I'm willing to move forward, and it would be nice to have somebody on my side that's willing to move forward with me, and I come off as a nerd or a goober or you a simp or you whatever, then of course y'all probably ain't gonna rock with me or look at me, right? So I'm not saying this or making it specifically about me. I'm making it about black men in general, because I ain't the only one who said it, and I will never be the only one who said it. A lot of guys are gonna say that shit. I'm just telling you right now from the perspective that I am viewing things from as a black man in the United States of America as we speak, seeing the dating landscape as we speak, seeing how everything is going on as we speak, having an opportunity to go abroad, study abroad, and experience life abroad. I'm telling y'all, y'all setting yourself up for failure. That's all I'm gonna say. It ain't gonna always work out, man. It ain't gonna always work to your benefit to have such an attitude about strong independency, right? And it's not as if a guy really needs you to rely on them. That's not really what it's about. It's more or less about having a partner that's willing to, at some point, give and take when necessary. But if it's always I'm giving and, you know, you just keep taking, or, you know, it's always I gotta bend to you 24/7, a lot of guys are looking to escape that, which is why you see a lot of guys going to date women in Asia, right? Or date outside the race, or whatever you want to call it. But maybe you could give a fuck about what I say. At the end of the day, I said it. Can't take it back now, right? It's been a good talk, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. With that being said, excuse me, Good Talk is officially out. Take care.